Well, greetings, traders, and welcome to followmetrades.com special live trading room for the FOMC announcement today, March 20th, 2019. Glad to have everybody here, and it looks like folks are still logging in, but we got half an hour. We got time. Just wanted to get established here in the room, take a look at what's going on, get settled in before the announcement, and so we got time. If you're new to Follow Me Trades or to the Zoom webinar platform, make sure you can locate the chat feature. If you look down at the control bar for the Zoom platform, there will be a chat thing. And so be sure you can find that so you can type in questions as you go. I definitely want to answer any questions that you have. And later in the session, after the announcement, I'll be looking and I'll share a few of my favorite current trades, and I'd be happy to analyze any trade ideas that you have. So definitely make sure you can locate that. And do it. Go ahead and type in where you're calling in from. It's always fun to see where people are calling in from, what city, state, country. George is here. George, man, long time. Hope all is well with you. Things are great here. I'm calling in from Olympia, Washington. I'm about an hour south of Seattle in the Northwest. And it has been weird here. A month ago, we had 2 feet of snow, which is like unheard of. They called it Snowmageddon and had pictures of the Space Needle buried in snow. And guess what? Today, it's supposed to be 74 degrees in March. Unheard of. So crazy. All right, people are typing in. Key from North Carolina, Ellis, San Antonio. My little sister lives there. I love going to San Antonio to visit. Nebraska, Maryland. I hope you're not flooded, right? They got a little water there, right? Debbie's from Alberta, Canada. Cool. Philly, Mike, Monterey, Brent from Carlsbad. There we got our first non-U.S. Overseas person. Britt from Sweden. Best to you. Tennessee, man. Excellent. Orange County, Bill. Nairobi, Kenya. That might get the distance award. Fort Worth. And lots of water. Maryland says historic flooding. Yeah, it's bad. I hope you're all right there. Stephen from Candalia, Tech. I never heard of Candalia. Cipriano's calling in from Italy. So 2 in Europe, 1 in Africa. Knoxville, Al. Stephen says he grew up in Eatonville. That's pretty close to where I'm at. Paul's from Rockwall, Texas. All right, well, welcome everybody. I'm sure glad you could make it. Oh, Mark's calling in from Hong Kong. Very good. I've been to Hong Kong twice. What a great city. RH from Israel, welcome. I got to visit Israel once too. I enjoyed that. I want to go back. Daniel from Florida. Well, welcome. Well, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Like I said, we got time. Oh, Mitch from Atlanta, hey. Just a quick disclaimer. So, again, I'm Dean Jenkins, followmetrades.com. We're going to be looking at the market. I'm going to offer my analysis as the FOMC announcement comes out at the top of the hour. I'm going to share some of my current favorite trades. I'm going to analyze anything you're looking at. And so these are my opinions. This is how I trade. It's my method. And, you know, it's working for me. But if anybody acts on the information that I provide, you know, that's your decision. Only you know what's appropriate for you. So I'm a trader. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving financial advice. Everything I offer is for education and information purposes. What you do with it, yeah, again, that's your decision, and that seems only fair. All right. If you don't know me, I'll just do a quick intro. Again, my name's Dean Jenkins. I've been trading over 25 years now. And it really started when I went to work for Intel Corporation in 1993. They gave us incentive stock options and had an employee stock purchase program. I participated in that. And boy, if you remember the early 90s, you know, Intel and Microsoft and the beginning of the dot-com boom, right? That thing just went up and up and up and up. And we did really well. And it got my attention for sure. And it got me interested, and I could see the power of, you know, the kind of profits you can make in the market. During that time, while I worked for Intel, I went and got my MBA from the University of Washington. And for a long time, I was a fundamental trader, analyzing, you know, earnings statements and, you know, going through all the ratios and percentages. And I got mixed results with that. It was really frustrating. You know, you'd have a great company and news would come out and it'd be good news, but the price would go down because it wasn't good enough. Or you'd get bad news and the price would still go up, right? Because it wasn't as bad as people thought. It's just a super frustrating thing. For a while, I got so frustrated, I got out of the market. I was very lucky. I took all my money out, went to cash in 2007 before the crash. And at that point, that was luck, not skill. But afterwards, I just couldn't stay out. I still saw the power of it, but I really wanted to find, a more systematic way to trade. I got back in the market 2009. I got in some winning trades. I actually bought Bank of America at $5, and 6 months later, it was up at 12. But I was still stressed out because I didn't have a system. I didn't know what to do. I got interested in technical trading about 2010. I made a lot of mistakes. Like many people will go, man, if I just had the right indicator, if I just find and buy and use the right indicator, right, it'll flash green and you go long, it'll flash red, you go short, and you just sit here and print money. You guys know that's not true. Maybe you have tried those kind of things. So I made a lot of mistakes. I tried a lot of stuff. I spent a lot of time learning. I ultimately got some really, really good coaching and mentoring from Bennett McDowell of traderscoach.com. And he continues to be a really, really good friend. We work closely together. But I finally settled in. It took a while, but I finally settled in on my current trading system about 2012, started getting consistent profits. And in 2015, I launched this company, followmetrades.com. It really started because I was starting to get profits and do pretty well. I had relationships with other traders, and people started asking me, hey, if you're going to take a trade, you want to let us know about that ahead of time and share it with us? And it turned into a business where I have a stock picking advisory service. I do just that. People subscribe, and before I take a trade, I let them know. And I send signals along the way as we manage the trade. So that's just a quick bio. That's who I am. Here's what we're going to do today. I have a setup for when big news comes out and it moves the market. It's called Trade the News Setup. So we're going to watch the market reaction to today's FOMC announcement. We're going to look for any intraday or even longer term trade setups, and I'll demonstrate the trade. And we'll discuss trade setups on larger time frames. I'll identify some trades that I like right now. I'll share some of my current favorite trades. And you'll leave with some actionable ideas. Again, these are things I like. Whether you act on them or not is your decision. Only you know what's appropriate for you. And I'll analyze any charts you're interested in. I can analyze, Forex charts, futures charts, or stock charts with my platform. Patterns apply no matter what you're trading. My focus is on stock and options. But I'll be happy to offer my opinion on some that you're interested in. So that's what we got going on in this session today. And again, we got a little bit of time, top of the hours when the announcement comes out. And so what I want to do is do a real quick couple polls here to see what you guys think is going to happen. So I'm going to start this first one, and here's the question. So will the Fed announce a rate hike in this announcement? Will they come out going, yep, we're going to raise rates now? How do you think? No, yes, no idea. Oh boy, you guys are responding. It's coming in. As soon as we stop the polling, I'll share it, or we'll see the chart here. Okay, the no's are winning by a landslide right now. Just about half of the people who are logged in, we got about 100 people logged in, just about half of them have voted. I'll give you another minute. I'll just wait till it slows down. One of the interesting terms that's coming up, you see in articles lately about the Fed and their decision, is the dot plot. People are paying attention to that. And if you don't know what the dot plot is, there are 19 folks who sit on the FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee, and they all kind of vote on what they think interest rates are going to be in the future, and then those are plotted on a dot graph, and so that's the dot plot. And there is speculation that the dot plot is moving down. Okay. Also, we have a small team here at followmetrades.com, and Eva is my team member, and she is here, and she may be offering some comments as we go as well. So welcome, Eva. Glad you are here. Now I'm going to go ahead and end this first poll, and we will share the results. All right, so you should be able to see that. So for the question, will the Fed announce a rate hike in this announcement? A resounding 87% said no. A couple people said yes, and about 10% said no idea. So thank you. And now let me do the second one. I'm going to end this. Hopefully it works. This technology works. So here we go. So this is a little bit different question, and this is, will the Fed raise rates this year? So the first one was about this session, and now the question is, will they raise rates this year? Oh, that's a different result. Okay, and the results are coming in. You guys are pretty active. So far we got 108 people logged in the room, 67 have responded and voted. We'll let that play out and wait till the voting slows down a little bit, then I'll share those results. And it looks like you're got your mic working there, Eva, you're good?
Yes.
All right.
I had to join audio. It was different than joining in the normal room.
Ah, interesting. Well, glad you're here. And we're just got the votes going on right now. Looks like it's slowing down a little bit, so I'll go ahead and share these. So the question again is, will the Fed raise rates this year? So not this, maybe this time, but later in the year. 56% say yes, 21% say no, and 23% not sure, no idea. All right, I got one more question. This one's going to be good. Okay, and before I do this, let me share charts real quick. I'm going to share this. All right, so the S&P 500 futures intraday, this is a 10-minute chart. Pretty sharply down. You know, it was yesterday it was climbing up, and toward the end of the session, pulled down pretty sharply. This morning, the overnight session, it crept up into a perfect retracement. So you see this sharp move, a retracement into a Fibonacci zone, these blue lines. And this morning in the trading room, we said, boy, the prediction is it will get down between these green lines. And it went right down there. And it's still down today, down on almost 0.5%, 0.41, 11.75 points down. The Dow is down 158 points. So that's a quick snapshot at the current market. Pretty interesting. The Dow, again, is down. I looked earlier, you know who the leader on the Dow was? Crazy, Boeing. The biggest losers are UNH and Goldman's. So that's interesting. But let's do one more quick poll. And again, we got time. We got about 18 minutes till the announcement comes out. So let me do one more. And here we go. So what do you think? After the Fed announcement, is the market going to go up or is it going to go down? Or no idea? Oh, the ups have the lead so far. Give it just a few more minutes. You know, boy, we've been in an impressive rally this whole year. And just to recap what has happened in the market while you're voting, let's take a look here at the S&P 500 cash symbol. So if you remember, last October to Christmas, we had a very sharp pullback in the market. Since then, this has been almost a straight up move this year, had a little pullback, and then on to highs in this move, not all-time highs. And now it looks like we got a couple down days yesterday and today. You know, at some point we are losing momentum here when we look at the price oscillator. Right? Even if we're going to go put in new highs, there's going to be a pullback at some point, right? And is this it? Don't know. There'll be something that triggers that or precipitates that. Okay, looks like 61 people have voted so far, and as soon as that slows down, looks like it is slowing down, so I'm going to end that. There we go. So here's the results. for people's expectation. Will the market go up or down after today's announcement? Remember, people said overwhelmingly they did not think that the Fed would raise rates in this session. We will raise them more later in the year. And so 50%, just half of the people think the market's going up after today's announcement. 17% say down, and 33% do not know. And not knowing is okay, right? And we don't have to guess what's going to happen. That's the nice thing about trading, and particularly technical trading, is we can look at what is happening and trade based on that reality. We don't have to guess or guess right about what's going to happen in the future. So good stuff. Key says, how do I vote? I think they're going to stay flat now. I think they will probably continue with their planned hikes later in the year, maybe one more. And I think the reaction to the announcement will be flat. We've seen that before. We've seen a dud. Sometimes there's a big reaction. Sometimes it's a dud. It's just no reaction at all. And so I think the current market trend could be turning over. I think the reaction to the Fed announcement could be a dud. But we want to be here and be ready either way.
Key, I voted along the lines that Dean just mentioned.
All right. And Ben's asking, can we use the coin toss indicator on the market reaction? Yeah, well, it kind of is, again, I think there'll be a muted reaction. I don't think we're going to have a big deal, but again, we don't have to guess, because we're going to have the data. We're going to have the reality in just a few minutes. All right, so let's talk about what my trade setup is, right? So I call this my trade the news setup. When news comes out and there is a big dramatic move, like right here, right? This is an initial move after the news drops. So this would be, the point of the news drop. Here's a big initial move. If we see a Fibonacci retracement from that move into this zone of 38.2 to 61.8, and then a reversal in the original direction, right? This can indicate a much bigger move coming. I don't think it's wise to try and trade on the initial jump. Let it prove itself. This is a continuation. So you get the initial move down, you get a retracement, and look at here. After this retracement, you get a lower high, and new low. This is an aggressive entry here. This is a conservative entry. But this is the kind of follow through we get if we see this setup. We don't always see it. Just like all trading, right? You have to kind of wait for it to happen. This is what it looks like on long. And these are actually FOMC announcements or oil report announcements. So here we go. Big initial move up, retracement right into the Fibonacci zone. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mute you for now, even unless you want to talk.
That's fine.
I got a little background noise. Okay, so you got the big initial move. You got a Fibonacci retracement. And look at this, high, low, new high. An aggressive entry here or a conservative entry, and then this kind of follow through. It quite often happens if you get this kind of a setup. So we're going to watch for that as the news drops. Okay. So we got about 12 minutes before the announcement comes out. Now I'm going to be watching the charts really, really closely. So I'll have a hard time. So if anybody has good news feeds, Forex Factory, a few other places are great places to get, kind of real-time news feeds as information becomes available. So any volunteers to watch the news and to type in, kind of the headlines from the announcement, because I'm going to be watching the charts here and talking about what's going on with price, which ultimately is all that matters. That is. And Patrick says, can you post that downtrend chart again? I'll show it. We got time. So here it is. Oh, this was S&P, not oil. So I believe this was an FOMC announcement, a good example. So big initial move, a retracement to a Fibonacci zone, and then a lower high, new low. That's indication you're probably going to get a pretty good size follow through. Okay. You're welcome. All right, so we got a few minutes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be watching on my chart here, get the right one. So this is the S&P 500 futures contract on a 10-minute chart. I don't trade futures. I don't trade very much intraday. If I do, I use stocks and options. But watching the futures gives you a really good, fast, real-time insight into what's going on, what traders think. So we'll be watching the S&P 500 10-minute chart, which is really the intraday or 1 or 2 day trend. And I'll be watching this 5-tick range chart, which is very high resolution, very, very small increment. And so we'll see big price movements show up here, and we can do the retracements and stuff. Just in terms of what I got on this screen, that's S&P 500 futures on the right, gold futures in the middle. Gold can react to the FOMC announcement. And I keep track of oil futures over here. Oil is not nearly as sensitive to the FOMC announcements as gold and indexes are. So, yeah. Cipriano says, I like IWM. Well, I like IWM because I'm trading it. We're actually short IWM right now and in profit. So a couple people were asking about some symbols to look at. I will take a look at a few. I just want to make sure we watch the clock here and stay on track so we can watch the reaction to the news. And so Ollie would like to look at KEG, KEG. Is that like a beer stock? Nope, Key Energy. Well, it was a good guess. All right, so what do we got here on KEG? Looks like it maybe launched back here in 17, so at IPO, there's enough data. What we have here is a big move down, a retracement, and then another big move. So I use a very simple version of Elliott wave, and this actually looks like this is the impulsive wave, all of it. There's a pause, but this is all what they call wave 3. And so what we just look for when we see a big impulsive move is we look for a retracement, which looks like it's happening. And you can see I've got Ichimoku cloud on my chart. That can be helpful to confirm trend changes. And so what we see is after we put in this bottom, we got a high, higher low, new high, got some nice momentum building. We're above the Ichimoku cloud. And so the ultimate target on KEG is right here between these two blue lines. This is a retracement up from a bearish trend. So it's between 38.2, 61.8, which, the bottom end of that range on price basis is about 1444. You got the 200-day moving average, which could be resistance. So you want to see if there's enough profit from here to here, and then if it breaks through, maybe up to here. So that's the look at KEG. And again, I'm only going to be able to do a couple. Bill would like to look at IEP, because once we get really close to the announcement, I'm going to keep my eye on that. Icon. Icon's a bit of a mess. It's not my favorite. If you look at a much bigger time frame, you can see a big impulsive move down here, a retracement up, started down again, found support. So lately, the way it's been behaving for a year, I don't like stocks like that have, big move, 100% retracement. They are very hard to predict what's going to happen next. So, yeah, not my favorite. And, well, what is your favorite, Dean? What do you like? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me pull one up that is phenomenal. Here's all the open trades that I have right now in my own account and that I've published. These are all short and they're all down today. That's a beautiful picture. And we got one long and it's up today. Perfect. That's all we ask. All right. Here's a short trade that we're in. This is the kind of setup I like. It's beautiful. And what I like is, this huge impulsive, very orderly move down, and a perfect retracement. A retracement's just a move in the opposite direction. After any big trend, at some point, someday, there's going to be a retracement, a move in the opposite direction. Right into a Fibonacci retracement zone, and then here we go, a resumption of that original downtrend, clear trend change with a low, lower high, breaking down through the Ichimoku cloud, Notice how it reversed right off the 200. So this thing follows rules. It's a fairly predictable stock. So we got short at this blue line. This is my entry line. This red is my current stop, where I would get out if it goes up that high. And this green line is my target. And look, we got in here, and here it goes. And we're looking for it to get down below, or at least to $116. So we got some nice profit. And still time to get in that trade. Not much time left, but that's an example of what I do like. Okay, so let me, Key wants to look at NVIDIA. And NVIDIA is a long trade. And we've looked at this many times. So here's the big, impulsive, major dominant trend up. And I have to put more data on the screen so you can see the whole trend. Right there it is. It started way down here. Perfect retracement, and here you see signs of it heading up. So NVIDIA is potentially a nice long. It's got a pretty slow high, higher, low, high, higher, low, high. It's got growing momentum. You got the 200-day moving average, which can be resistant. So, you know, potentially failing at 207, but from 173, that's a nice profit, and an ultimate target of about 282. So NVIDIA is looking pretty doggone good. All right, so we are a couple minutes out. So I'll look at some more of your charts and I'll share a few more of my trades after the announcement. Okay, but I don't want to lose track of the big reason we're here. So I'm going to bring the futures charts back over. And I don't know, Eva, do you have a good, you got a good news feed there where you can let us know what the...
I will try.
Okay. Anybody else that comes up with something good, type it in, cut and paste it. Lolitha says must have missed. Lolitha's a subscriber. You must have missed the IWM short. Oh, we took that. When did we take it? A couple weeks ago. Yeah, IWM we got in on the 6th of March. And we are short from, I'll show real quick. Got a minute or two left. We took our short entry on IWM at 155.27. We're in some profit. We got a target on IWM down at 130. And that's asking, what's the name of the indicator you're using? What are the settings? So I've got a couple indicators on here. I've got the Ichimoku cloud, which is this shaded area. I've got a price oscillator down here. This is the OWL from traderscoach.com, and the Ichimoku cloud is a free indicator that's on your platform, but I am using some unique settings. And at the end here, I'll show you a way where you can find out how I use that and how you can follow along with it. All right, we got the countdown going on. We got about a minute and a half, so I'm just going to pause and we're going to watch what the reaction is, and then between Eva and any of you who get the what the actual announcement is, go ahead and paste it into chat. It'll be interesting. I'm going to mute for just a moment here.
I was going to say you'll probably know by the way the chart runs before we do.
Exactly. And that's ultimately what matters, the reality, you know, what price does. It's how people react to the news, right? And Jeff, I think I answered your question. What's that lower histogram? It's called the OWL, Optimum Wave Locator from Traders Coach. Very similar to a price oscillator that is set to histogram versus lines. A nice turnout. Thanks everybody for showing up. Hey, you're welcome, Annette. Looks like we got 163 people here in the room, so I think everybody's interested. For those of you who tuned in later, we did some polling, and most people here in the room don't think there will be a rate hike this time. but there will be later this year. Hey, Ben, yeah, glad you showed up. Okay, I think the news is out. Looks like we got to move up initially. Let's see how that holds. Frank says I should trade Forex. Yeah, maybe someday. Interesting that gold and the S&P are both heading up kind of at the same, their historic correlation is inverse, but in the short term, they can move together. So there was an initial move. Let's see if there's any kind of follow through to it.
So the rates were left unchanged. Says growth slowed, signals no rate hike this year.
No rate hike this year, and growth has slowed. So that's kind of good news, bad news, right?
Yeah, but you know how the market loves the interest rate news.
Yeah. So the good news is no rate hikes. Bad news is the economy's slowing.
Be interesting to see if this turns the market around. It's about half of where it was. It's about 75 down, the Dow.
Yep. Well, that's a big move on gold. It had moved up sharply in the overnight session through the open up to here.
Now, interesting, what would cause that correlation?
Yeah. I don't pretend to know the...
You don't have the answer to that one.
Because it's really a question about why are people doing what they're doing. I don't know. But I can observe what they're doing, and we can capitalize from that.
See, I just look for you for all answers, Dean.
It's kind of like asking, why would people eat Brussels sprouts? I have no idea.
Well, when they're cooked the right way, they taste very good.
When they're grilled and they're kind of crispy, yes, they are pretty good. But just boiled, yeah. Look how gold is really struggling at the prior high from earlier this morning. S&P has definitely got a strong move on. And this is the point where we would look for a retracement and then follow through. Dale says gold and ES been moving together for several months now. Yeah, over the long term, if you do a weekly, monthly chart and you plot gold and the indexes, they don't move together. But in the short time, they can, and that can be confounding. So we got a pretty good move here. Let's switch this to a little lower time frame, and we can do that. So what we're looking for here, I switched to 2 minute. Let's even go to 1. So if we get a reversal, then we can measure the size of this and predict where it would retrace to, and then look for the signs for it to continue up. Right? This is the initial move, first move. We got to kind of wait and see how that does its thing. What's super interesting is the S&P 500 has gone positive. It's up 3 points, 0.11. The futures. The Dow is still down.
It's at 37 now, 36.
Dow?
32. Down. 28. It's yeah. I mean, it's gaining.
What's really cool is, thankfully, my short trades are still down sharply, and I really haven't come up with the rest of the market. So, people often, I think, make the mistake of thinking that everything goes up or everything goes down. It's like, why would you be shorting in an up market? And it's, the indexes are an average of, the S&P 500 is an average of about 500 stocks. They're not all going up or all going down at the same time. So we take trades off of individual chart setups. More things go up with the trend than go down. But when there's a bearish setup, it will often continue even against an uptrend. And with this, if this is really going to continue up, we might get some really good long trade candidates too. I don't actually dislike Brussels sprouts that much unless they're cooked wrong.
I can only think of one food I really don't enjoy. Liver.
Yeah.
Childhood memories.
Yeah. People of our generation, it seems like our parents seem to think that was the key to good health. Feed your kids chopped liver.
Good for iron.
I have absolutely no use for raw celery like in a salad. It's a wonderful peanut butter holder, but then it's a biodegradable peanut butter dispenser.
So the Dow's getting there. It's down $7.50.
So this is an example here. I'm showing the 1 minute where I don't think it's a good idea to try and jump in on these initial moves. It'll reverse at some point. There's no absolutes, there's no guarantees in the market. But when you see a big impulsive initial move, almost all the time, underline almost, you're going to get a retracement before it will continue. And that's your opportunity to really get a high probability entry. Dale says he was short the S&P all day. Glad you got that covered a few minutes ago. I'd forgotten about the Fed. Well, you got my announcement, right? And that reminded you. So there you go. And Brent says, yeah, don't forget Powell's news conference. So they've put out their release at the top of the hour, and then Powell's going to have a conference. He'll be on the mic, and people will be reading the tea leaves, looking at how he parted his hair, how he tied his tie, for all kinds of nuanced insight into what they're going to do.
The Dow's trying to go positive. I saw it get down to about 3. Now it's reversing a little.
Yeah, see, it's down.
Along with the SPY.
So here's this retracement, and that point I was making about don't try to chase trends. Let them come to you. And so here comes the retracement. And what we'll look for is a retracement to a Fibonacci zone down into this blue area down here. 38.2 to 61.8.
I wonder if people are starting to think about the slowing economy. Like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, trying to think of a good analogy. I'm not coming up with one.
Oh, it's coming down to the retracement zone.
Yeah. Oh, Patrick with a sharp eye says, why don't you start the Fibonacci retracement from the lowest low? Because we actually measure wave 3. And so we measure the retracement of wave 3, and this is actually wave 1, 2. So I'm measuring 3.
Michael wanted to know about the red and the green and the P's.
Oh, yeah. So those are pyramid trading points. They're an indicator from traderscoach.com. So you've heard me talk in this session about higher highs, higher lows, or lower lows, lower highs. That's how price moves. And you can see here as this thing began, we had a high, higher low, new high. These pyramids call out special sequences of higher high, higher lows where the ratio of the up leg is greater by some factor than the ratio of the down leg. So they can be helpful as entry points. You can enter on these pyramids, and you can put your stop at the base. Now, in a dramatic move, you kind of have to wait for the next pyramid like that. That's what they are. Yeah, Jeff, so what we look for is this as a retracement down into this zone and then evidence of the trend turning back up, which would be high, higher, low, new high. That was a pretty shallow retracement. Again, you know, price doesn't always follow the rules. The good thing about having recognizable patterns is when price does follow them, what's going to follow next becomes very highly probable.
It almost worked to the cloud.
Yep.
Found support there.
You'll hear me use the term if you've been in my sessions before or you joining in the future. I look for proof, right? One price bar like it right now is not proof. Even this retracement is a little bit shallow. What would be good evidence of a real retracement would be, we look for these patterns. So we look, what would be real good evidence of a retracement would be a low, like we've got here, a lower high where it doesn't go above this high and then it comes down. That's a retracement where it puts in lower lows, lower highs. And then the high entry would be when it turns and makes a high, higher low, new high, because that's signaling then that something like this is very likely to happen. And that's how price moves. But right now, we don't really get a good retracement. So far, it's a low, and it just touched the prior high. We'll see if it reverses or goes on.
So the Fed was making comments about unemployment. They expect to see it rise, but it won't go above 4% till 2021. They don't expect inflation to overshoot 2%.
I know inflation, you know, the Fed's got two mandates, control inflation and full employment. And, you know, 2% is their magic number. They think that's the healthy long-term goal. And typically they react if they think it's going over. And I saw that they were actually willing to let it drift over 2 and pay more attention to the average than the point value.
They are saying that job growth is very solid, but they see slower household and business spending in the first quarter.
That was kind of a conflict because they said unemployment will rise, but job growth is up.
There's going to be one hike next year and none in 2021. So no more hikes this year, one next year, and none the following year. But they said overall inflation has declined because of energy prices. I'm just reading the highlights as they go by the screen. Yeah. So I guess they're saying the Fed is going to be patient when determining rate hikes.
Patience. That's been Powell's favorite word. We haven't had a really good, colorful, interesting Fed chairman since Maestro. He was very quotable. Remember Alan Greenspan?
Yes. I just didn't know he was nicknamed Maestro.
Yeah. And Tushar says the balance sheet runoff is going to reduce from May to end of the year, September. And Dale, yeah, I like the Ichimoku Cloud on any time frame. I think it's a really helpful indicator. And it really works the same way. It's based on, you know, price bars and looking back a certain number of price bars with the settings I use. So it doesn't matter what your chart interval is, the same concept applies. So this is interesting, this current move. You saw what I had drawn out that I was looking for, and it's beginning to develop. We'll see if you see this yellow pyramid. That's a potential bullish pyramid. So if price goes above it, this is going to turn green and be confirmed that there was a high, higher, low, new high. If price goes below here, it will invalidate it. It will go away.
That's interesting because on mine, are you on 1 minute?
Yeah, but I'm on the futures. I don't think you have.
Oh, okay. On the actual SPY, on the SPY, it already has, it's got conflicting pyramids. There's a down pyramid right next to the
And that would be the,
bullish.
yeah, because the SPY is going to move a little different than the futures.
But it did not wick up enough to make it a higher high.
So for the subscribers who are in the room, this is good news. Our DO long is recovering nicely, heading up today. And our short trades, the net movement on our short trades here is spectacular. Having a good day. Russell is still down, even though the NASDAQ or the, well, I guess the Dow is down too. The S&P cash is up a tick or two. Yeah, and Dale says like they can see that far into the future because Eva, you passed on their comment. One rate hike in 2021. I mean, they got to have a forecast, but things can change. And before 2021, I think there's an event coming up in late 2020 that will have a big impact.
Oh, I wonder what that could be. I forgot what that was going to be till all of a sudden. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mid-November, something like that.
Beginning of November.
We have to sit through the campaigns and all this noise for that, a year and a half.
Oh, they've already started. We just got done with them, it feels like.
I think Britain, it's like the campaigns are like a month or two, right? Make your case, take a vote. I like that. Ben says everyone's mileage will vary.
So it's really within a set channel here right now.
Yep. We got that smaller pyramid, which looks like it's about ready to get, see how it went away? Price went below the base of it. So now we're starting to get a case here for a real retracement. Remember, I drew my picture. What I'm looking for is this low. This is a lower high because it did not go higher, and then a new low down into this zone. That would be a real retracement. And then, trading, you got to be patient. You got to wait for things. Then we'll look for this, and that would be a long entry.
So will the cloud provide support or will it retrace?
Hard to say. Hard to say. Meanwhile, while we're waiting, this is going to take a little time to play out here. So if you're looking for some trade ideas, I like this one we took 2 days ago, CBS. Yes, the TV station. We're short CBS. There's still a little bit of time to get in. We got a little bit of good reward to risk. We got short here, and already we're in some nice profit. We got a target here. So that's a nice short trade. We've been short CME, and this thing's marching like a soldier down. And we're in this. It's down again today. We got a target. There's still a little bit of time to get short CME. Crocs is not playing well. It's up a few ticks. We just got short on Eastman, and we are short the Russell. And this still looks like a good trade, by the way. And you can see Russell. We got in here. We're in a little bit of profit. We think we got to move.
The pyramid just turned red, by the way, Dean.
All right, we'll come back to it. And then the other trade is LEA. We're short Lear. We're in some nice profit. Been in it for about a week, 5 days. And it's nice, and there's still time to get short on Lear. So when we come back to the chart. Oh, you're on the SPY. This one found, the futures found a little support right here.
Oh, okay. It pivoted. It turned on just the regular SPY. It turned the pyramid red and found support right on the cloud.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're really close, but the SPY and the futures are off. You know, they're different. Futures are a prediction. The SPY is an ETF of what's actually happening with the index. And Lou is asking about a long entry using SPY options. I think it's early. I don't think it's confirmed yet. If there was a setup, then I like trading the SPY with options. It's a great way to go. So nail biter, what's it going to do? It is in a channel. You can see after the big pop on the announcement, prices stayed right between that level. And I'm sure this looks very, very similar on the SPY, somewhere like this.
Yes.
It's just channeling. Virginia says XLF is dropping. Oh, look, that yellow
should be
pyramid.
turned now. Okay.
So this looks like it's going to head into that retracement zone.
That's interesting that you don't have a bearish pyramid.
Yeah, the criteria just wasn't quite met.
Yeah.
That ratio. XLF down 1%. The financial spider. Not a super good setup here on XLF. I think there's some better shorts. Here's one that we're looking at that we have not taken, but we're about to, if you're interested. The hotels are getting kind of beat. And Wyndham. There's a nice short setting up here on Wyndham. And this is, what we're looking at is this move down, this correction up into the Fibonacci zone, and then look, low, lower, high, low. Just now coming out of the cloud. We got a target down here at these prior lows at about 33.50. That's not a bad move. 41 to 33.50. That's about a $7 move on a $40 stock. That's 18, 20%, something like that, doing the quick math. All right. So we technically did have a low, lower, high, new low because we went right below that just with a wick. So that's a marginal retracement. I'd like to see it better. But currently it's in the, you know, if it breaks out of this top end here, you would have a case for a long. It's kind of weak. I'd like to see actually a deeper retracement and then a run. But there would be a case if this breaks out for a long. Do I ever trade the SPX? For the S&P, I like the SPY for longs. And there's a 1X, I forget the symbol, maybe SH or something. There's a 1X inverse for people that like to trade the inverses. And Darian said, hey, what would be a good entry on Wyndham? Would like to see it break out of this little consolidation it's in. So right under this, if we can get a closing bar under 40.70, it's a go, as long as it doesn't drop dramatically, right? If it does that, my stop is going to be right up here at this high. My target is going to be right down here, this low, right around this 33.98, call it. That's a good reward to risk ratio. The risk is the distance from the entry to the stop. The reward is the distance from the entry to the target. This is like 4 or 5 to 1. Beautiful. Yeah, the channel continues here on the ES. We'll keep watching this and see if there's a setup I can share with you. So if you like the analysis I'm doing, if this makes sense to you, I showed you some of the trades we're in, how they're doing. Let me Let me jump for you. So we looked at some live charts. You know, hey, finding great trades can be like a needle in a haystack. I pointed out some good ones. These are three things that I think are essential in trading, profitable trading. That's great trade setups, a high probability outcome, a great reward to risk ratio. I just showed you on Wyndham, it's 4 or 5 to 1 reward to risk ratio. You got to manage risk, and you got to have a strategy for managing the trades. Once you're in it, it's dictated by a plan, not by emotion, right? You guys agree these, you know, at the high level, great trade setups, risk management, trade management, those would all be essential to being a profitable trader. Hopefully you'd agree with that. Seems pretty common sense stuff. Maybe you feel like this guy. I went pretty fast and showed, you know, my criteria, how I manage trades, the trade setups. Maybe you go, wow, that was a lot of information. I'll show you an offer where you can follow along with the trades that I'm taking. Again, finding great trades is hard, and then once you get them, you need a plan, and that's what I offer in my service. Great trade setups. I provide tools, training, and information for each trade on risk management. Offer trade management. You get 10 hours of detailed trade consultation every month. We have a live trading room. We have live chat sessions. You're offered one-on-one consultation with me, ongoing education, and of course, access to help with winning trades. You know, my track record, I've been doing this for a number of years. My track record is published on my homepage. Here's the results we're getting every year, and you can click on any of these buttons and look at the detail of trades for any given year. It brings up a list of every single trade, and my results are audited by a third-party CPA firm, and the reports are there. So here's a special offer for anybody who's interested. You can try my stock and option pick service. Take a trial for 30 days for $37, and that's 100% money back guarantee. You know, it's not, you know, come check it out, see if it's a good fit. For most people, it is. If it's not a good fit for you, you know, I'll give you a 100% refund, no questions asked, no hard feelings. There's a link I just posted into the chat box. And special for people who are here today, some people expressed interest in Ichimoku Cloud, how I'm using that. Oh, I'll jump to that. So there's a special. If you sign up during this session, before I hang up, I will include my Ichimoku Cloud course, which includes how I use it and the proprietary settings that I have. There's a written study guide, training videos, and a printable trade setup cheat sheet. So you can get that free. There's lists on my website for $247, but if you take the trial today, you can get the course as part of that. Only if you do it during this session. And again, I just posted the link. Dale, I'm in Olympia, Washington, Dale, just south of Seattle. So here's what you get with the stock pick service. You get a watch list of potential trades that I'm tracking. I just showed you one that was Wyndham. That looks good. It's almost ready. You get alerts, email, text message when I'm getting into a new trade. You get the exact detail of each trade, the entry, the stop, the target. And as we scale out, you get alerts on that. Most of the trades can be traded with shares or with options. Some people go, well, it's a stock option pick service. I don't trade options. You don't have to. Trade the shares. I give you the information to trade the shares. I also give a corresponding option contract that I like for each trade. So trade the shares, trade the options. You get both the information to do both. You get alerts when there's a change, you know, email, text message. If, you know, new trade, move a stop, take profit, close a trade. You get access to my live trading room. It's at the open each morning, and you can attend if you like. You're welcome. You don't have to. It's optional, and that's recorded every day if you want to watch it. And there's a short recap for any changes. We have a live chat session every Wednesday night. We got one tonight where we folks that can't come in the morning but want a live session, ask questions and stuff. That's available. Get a one-on-one consultation. When you sign up, you get a link to my calendar. You can put some time on there. We can talk, answer any questions, get you off to a good start. I provide risk management, option trading tools, and training as part of your subscription, ongoing support and training, right? And then this special offer today, the Ichimoku Cloud, if you want to be part of that. We get that. So we take the trial, 30 days for $37 with 100% money back guarantee. You take that offer, give it a try, you'll get the Ichimoku Cloud course for free. All right, how we doing here? So it is off to new highs. So it's kind of a weak retracement. It's not the best setup, but that is a long signal on the S&P 500. It looks like it's pressing on to some highs here. The Dow's up 15. S&P cash is up 7.2, about 0.25%. So there it goes. Impulsive move. We did have a lower high, new low, hit the cloud, and it looks like it's pressing on to some new highs here. So there you go. Oh, thanks, James, giving an endorsement there. James has been a customer for quite some time now. It's been fun working with you, James. Thank you for the kind words. And my current trades, how we doing? Yeah, we're still holding on to the, our shorts are still down, our long is still up. So I think we're in some good positions here. And Dale said, didn't retrace enough to get your attention. Yeah, it was kind of a weak retracement. And that, can indicate kind of a weak follow through. So we'll see. Powell should be on the microphone now, right? Just starting his briefing. So that could cause some additional volatility. So like I said, there is a long signal here. It's kind of weak. I'm not taking it. It wasn't good enough for me, and I already got plenty of good trades on. So I'm going to sit that one out. So that's where we stand. Well, we've been going about an hour here. We got the announcement out. I think kind of covered what I wanted to cover, saw what we wanted to see. I'll hang out if you got any questions. Be happy to look at a few symbols. Typically, too many get typed in, but I'll be happy to look at a few more if you're interested. And if you have any questions about that offer, about the stock and option pick service, I'll post that link again. Again, not pretty low risk for you, $37 for a month. Come check it out. And if it's not a good fit, all you gotta do is send me an email. Say, thanks, didn't fit. 100% refund, no questions asked, no hard feelings. Broadcom, Brent wants to look at. Well, oh no, Activision, ATVI, no mistake. So interesting. Here's the move up. The retracement here was too deep. It went through 76.4, which is a disqualifying level to be a retracement. So this is actually the new impulsive move, the down. The gamers are just getting beat up, and it didn't help them when Google decided to jump in. So big move down. Looks like it's starting a retracement. We got a little bit of positive momentum. We got a high, higher, low. High, higher, low, new high up through the cloud. And so it looks like it could go into this retracement zone. Midpoint about $60, low end of that's about 55. So that's not bad. Chu wants to look at, I think that's Costco, C-O-S-T. So Costco, big impulsive move up, had a perfect correction. Looks like it's heading on to new highs here. So just to project that really quickly. It's not the most orderly of charts. It's a little gappy, not gappy, but just a little volatile. Trying to find a place to start my retracements at. This is okay for a rough indication. So this looks like Costco got a target above 259. You want to watch this prior high. This is a point, a reversal point potentially. So I'd let it get above that, make sure this trend has really got some legs. Wynn wants to look at Canopy. It's a cannabis stock. We were looking at this in the trading room this morning. We want to see it break out of this consolidation. It's really in a channel, even forming a little wedge here. We've got to see it break out, at least up to this level here, about 49.03, and then it's got a shot of running up into the target. But we want to see a good breakout first. Carlos, no, I don't trade futures. We look at the futures like we did today, but we trade stock and options in my trading room. Brent, is there a trigger into that ATVI? So it looks good now. It's good to go now. The only thing you want to watch is that, you know, price moves most often in, this is just simple Dow theory. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, right? You can see that in any trend. You know, they don't just go like this. Rarely do you see that. And so you've got this pretty strong move for over 2 weeks. You're probably going to get a pullback before it continues on. So you may just want to wait and see if you can get a better entry. You could get in now. You have to sit through it, though. There will be a pullback at some point. So that's the criteria is met for the trade. You just may have to, if you jump now, you may have to sit through a pullback. And that's not always that fun. Larry's asking, how do you sign up? Don't see anything. I did put it in the chat, but if you don't see it, you can just type this. I made a little tiny URL to make it easier to type. So tinyurl.com/FOMC-37. So I'll leave that up for a minute if you need that. Dale, once you start futures, you never go back. You know, I've traded futures. I don't really care for day trading. I've done it, done okay at it. Day trading is really, it's the hardest of all trading. In particular futures, you got a limited number of contracts that really have any kind of liquidity. And so if there's no setups, you got to sit there and wait. You got to sit there and wait. I'm just not into spending 6-7 hours a day in front of a monitor anymore. It was fun at first. The bloom came off that rose a number of years ago. I trade daily charts now primarily. I get to, you know, spend an hour or something in the trading room looking for trades, put the trades on, and go do something else and let them go. All right. Chewy signed up. Thank you. Awesome. And Brent said he signed up. Outstanding. Yeah, you just got to pick the right, Dale saying he's got back down to about 2 hours of trading. You just got to find the right 2 hours. Right? It can be very frustrating because, yeah, there are some general patterns around time, but they're not perfect. And it can be very frustrating to do your 2 hours, nothing happened, and come back and look later and see that you missed the big one. Well, I don't see any other questions flooding in at this moment, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'll stay logged in for about 5 minutes. So if you're placing an order, again, that offer to get the Ichimoku Cloud as part of the as in addition to the trial, that's only good during this session. You know, once I hang up, that offer's off. You can still sign up for the trial, but it won't include the Ichimoku Cloud course. Mitchell says he signed up. Hey, thanks. I look forward to working with you. I'll do 2 more symbols, and then I'm going to be pretty much out of air. You know, it's spring, and asthma, you know, allergy season and asthma is all starting up here. But Tom wants to see Amazon. Amazon's got a nice long setup right now. Nothing wrong with it. Same comment about the other one. It's been going straight up for about 2 weeks. Probably going to get a pullback. You have to sit through it, maybe to the 200, but all criteria is met. You know, big impressive move up, perfect correction, clear evidence that the next move is starting with a target above 2100, and it's above all prior highs in the correction. So even if it fails at the prior high, that's still a nice trade. So all signals go on Amazon. If you jump now, you may have to sit through a little small pullback, but it's, you know, it's got a, you know, because it moves, it's going to higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. It's not going to go straight. They never do. But that looks good. Hugh, Roku. Roku's a mess. I don't like it when they go dramatic move, 100% retracement, 100% retracement. These are hard to time. You can do them on smaller time frames, but I don't like these these setups. And he says he's short. That's the direction to be on this, because the probable next move is down, but you got a bunch of support. You're on the cloud here, right? It's heading up. It hasn't reversed. So the probable next move is down, but it's not really good for me. Okay, I'm going to go on mute. I'll put that offer page back up, and I'll answer any questions that come in. I just want to give you an opportunity if you were wanting to get in on that offer. But that really is what I wanted to cover today. And I sure do thank you for showing up. Appreciate your time. I hope you found it interesting and useful. And have a great day. Whatever you do, trade safe, use risk control, keep your winners big, your losers small. They are out to get you, or at least your money. All right, I'll hang here, but be on mute if you got any questions.